class, I just wanted to give you a few tips for success in Business Law 1. Number one is you need to mark the deadlines. I know that sounds like a very simple thing, but believe it or not, I've had students miss deadlines a lot and even miss the midterm. And if you miss a deadline, there's no way that you can make that up. Number two is to stay on track. And by that I mean whatever is due for a particular week, you need to do that, particularly the reading. So if I have 2 chapters assigned for week 1, don't think, you know what, I'll just put that off to week 2. I'm kind of busy this week and I'll just read those chapters next week. Well, then you get to week 2, now you have 4 chapters to read, all this new material. You get frustrated, tired, overwhelmed, and then it becomes very self-defeating and you won't do very well. So do your best, mark it in your schedule when you're going to read, and it will probably take you more than once to read through the material to understand it. Number 3, this is not a class you can just slide through. If you're a student who typically skims chapters or don't read all the chapters and you just do the bare bones to make it through a class, this is not your class to do that. Or if you're a student who has way too much on your schedule this semester, you might want to consider taking it another time. I don't have a problem with that. And I've had many students who said, you know what, I have too much on my plate right now, I will come back and take it another time, and that works great. Number 4 is follow all directions. So if I ask for 2 paragraphs on a discussion, I need 2 paragraphs. If I ask for terms to be in all caps, include the terms. Failure to follow all the directions results in a loss of points, and usually they're easy points that students miss. So follow all the directions, go back and check it. A lot of times I have students say, oh, I knew that, you know, I just forgot or overlooked it or whatever. So double check your work right before you turn it in to make sure you have followed all the directions. Number 5 is study the concepts that are in the textbook and look at what we're discussing in class. I tailor the quizzes and the exams over all that material, so you need to look at both aspects. Number 6 is ask questions. A lot of times students will miss a question on the exam, and then I ask them about that, or they'll query me about it, and it turns out it was something they're really kind of confused about. And if they had just asked the question up front, it would have helped them. Usually it helps everybody else in class. And you will see in the discussion area there's a specific folder labeled questions for every week. So post a question in there. Other students can answer if they want to, and I will get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll post a response to help you work through whatever question you might have on the subject matter. Number 7 is participate. Again, that sounds pretty straightforward. Students miss points all the time because they don't post a discussion assignment, and lots of times they don't post the responses. In this class, you're required to post 2 responses to other students' posts. Pretty straightforward. Many students say, oh, I'm too busy this week, so they miss the 2 points, or they only post 1. And week by week, the loss of those points adds up. And guess what? Every session, I have a student who will miss passing the course by 1 point. And guess where the 1 point came from? Because they didn't file their responses each week. So make sure you do that. It also makes the discussion much better for me and for everybody else in class because we're all having a good dialogue, and you can learn much better as everybody participates. The class also requires a paper. This is a requirement of the business department, and I have very specific requirements for that paper. Again, follow all the directions and spend time on it. It does require research. It's not very burdensome, but you do need to spend time researching. You will then need to write it, and you'll need to spend time editing it, and make sure that you use MLA citations and quotes as necessary. And all that's laid out under the paper requirements, but you need to be thinking now when you're going to spend time doing that and plan ahead so you're not rushed to do it at the end, because that is a big part of your grade. And I think that's it. So follow all those steps. We have mark your deadlines, stay on track. It's not easy, so keep up with it all. Follow all the directions, study the concepts in the textbook and the discussion area, ask questions, participate, and work on that paper. Thanks. Talk to you soon.